Good morning and welcome to Brand Momentum Morning Show. This is Faith James. I'm your host, and today we continue our reading from The Audacity to Be Queen. In fact, we're reading from this book, and each book that we choose, we read for the entire month. And as I said yesterday, of course, we don't get through the entire book, but if what we speak about is meaningful, interesting, compelling to you, you can always feel free to add to your collection. As I like to say, reading is fundamental, but even more powerful is taking the information that you have gained from reading or listening and putting it into action. So taking it and getting it into momentum, because there's nothing worse than just being like an amazing conference attendee or an amazing meeting attendee, and then you do nothing with the information. It serves nobody. It certainly doesn't serve you, but more importantly, it doesn't serve the people for whom God has put in front of you as your great mission. So be sure that as we're talking about the work and you're doing homework, if you are participating, that you go ahead and decide today you're taking action. So if you are with me live in the studio, as all the Momentum crew are, I can see them. I'll come to you in a second. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and tag someone who could absolutely benefit from having some consistent vitamin I into their system. So share and tag. Definitely. Our reading today is Your Meeting with the Queen. So let's say good morning to Momentum crew. Good morning, Queen. How are you? Beautiful to have you here. Good morning, Juliet, my love. How are you doing? Hello, gorgeous Marianne. Welcome, welcome. Melody, darling. Thank you. Yes. Love it. Shared. And good morning, Jacqueline Younglandy. How are you, gorgeous? So exciting. It's a beautiful day. Why? Because it's the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and we'll be exceedingly glad in it. And I encourage you to find something to get excited about today. Find something to get excited about every day. So yesterday we talked about doing the audio intentions, whether it's for your gratitude, whether it's for your intentions, whether it's just reflections on how the day went, how you showed up, what your thoughts were, what were some things that you decided you wanted to make a note of. So who did their audio notes in the memo section on the phone? I love it. And if you weren't here and you don't know what we're talking about, this is going to be a tool that I want you to add to your repertoire of ways that you are present to your thoughts, what your intentions are, etc. Okay, wonderful. Jacqueline did hers. So let me see which one. What did I do yesterday? Where's the memo? Memo. Okay. So here you can see I recorded thoughts after Brand Momentum morning show. And when I recorded this, it was only a minute and 3. So it doesn't have to be a long process, but it's just a great way for you to get present to your thoughts, present to your feelings. If you, you had, so for example, this morning I had an encounter with, somebody who, I don't know well, but, we've certainly done some business together, and they have like this just like out of body, like crazy response to me in the text. And because I do leadership, I was able to just pause and look at the response and say, okay, right, how did I source this? And what did I source this for? And I made a note of that, so my kind of thinking around that was, it's clearly got nothing to do with me, like for sure. Like I was so clear and realized that this person must be really dealing with something. And so my response back, and I just want to share this with you because this is why I talk about leadership all the time. So yeah, it was basically like a crazy like swear word. And I said, no, I wasn't asking you to do it. I was saying I was going to take care of this. And then the person responded and apologized, like, I apologize, I'm at work and I looked at it too quickly, and thanking me for going to, investigate what it is that we're investigating. And I just wrote back, I said, okay, no worries, sending you good high vibration energy. Like, I didn't even respond to the swear. I didn't respond to, like, why are you coming at me so aggressive? Nothing. I just observed it as this I sourced to give me an opportunity to work on patience, to work on empathy, to work on compassion and understanding. Because if somebody would respond that way first thing in the morning, they're clearly dealing with some things. And then they proceeded to, write a follow-up about, what's going on at work and the stress, and that, it was like a lot of multitasking and all of that wonderful stuff. And I said, that's a lot of pressure that you're dealing with. And I knew your response was nothing about me and that you were dealing with something bigger. So just breathe and know all is well with you. You are well equipped and able. I will keep you posted on the updates as I do what I'm going to be doing. So I'll make a note of that, right? I'll make a note of that in my voice memo, because it keeps you present to your progress. It keeps you present to, like, ooh, normally, right, I would have had a different response. Like, seriously, like, this would have been a whole different situation. So it's just really good to just be present and make these notes as you go. And the voice memo is just such an easy, quick way to accomplish that. So let's get into it. Oh yeah, exactly. Right. This is what we get to do. We just get to decide. Nobody steals my joy. Nobody takes my power from me. Nobody steals my joy. Nobody gets me out of my high vibration. You just get to notice and observe and recognize and give some grace and compassion, because that's not a normal response. So something else clearly is going on. All right. So share and tag. Here we go. You're meeting with the Queen. The greatest Queen story of all time changed my life forever, and it's about to change yours. Whatever you may have deemed as tragic, torturous, and unfair along your journey, get ready to reframe the circumstances of your life and see them for what they actually are. The universe conspiring on your behalf to set you up for a legendary life. So I could have looked at that and gone in a whole different direction, just quit. Like, why are you coming at me? Like, I'm, respectful and caring. Why would you? But this is the universe conspiring to set me up so that as I work on and build, compassion and empathy and patience, building those muscles within my being is preparing me for even more legendary, epic moments. You guys get what I'm saying? So we're traveling back in time to the kingdom of ancient Persia at the height of its opulence, arriving at the palace of the infamous King Xerxes. There were couches of gold and silver on a mosaic pavement of porphyry, marble, mother of pearl, and other costly stones. Wine was served in goblets of gold, each one different from the other, and the royal wine was abundant. Jacqueline, it might have been Merlot. I don't know. In keeping with the king's liberality. By the king's command, each guest was allowed to drink with no restriction. Good time Tina was at that party. She's like, he said, what, open bar? For the king instructed all the wine stewards to serve each guest what they wished. The king liked a grand party, so much so that he held this one for 7 days. On the last day, while in high spirits from wine, Xerxes commanded that his wife be brought to him so he might display her beauty to his guests. Queen Vashti said, oh, hell no. Queen Vashti refused. She's like, I don't have time for this. Furious, the king burned with anger and immediately had her banished from the kingdom. Meanwhile, it's 5th century BC, and simultaneously, as the king of Persia is enjoying his great power, in nearby Israel, a war is underway that leaves a young Jewish girl named Esther orphaned. She is then exiled to Persia, where she and all the refugees are treated like second-class citizens. Fortunately, in this new land, she is connected to one of her last living relative, Mordecai, who raises her as his own. Just as Esther is adjusting to her new life, King Xerxes issues a decree that dramatically changes the course of her existence. After banishing Queen Vashti in a fury, Xerxes is now in the market for a new wife. In this ancient version of The Bachelor, the king's men round up all the beautiful young maidens of the land and place them in a palace harem where for a year they are to be primed with beauty treatments and special foods before being presented to the king to select his new queen. Torn from her new home, Esther is taken to the palace with the others for preparation. Following Mordecai's protective advice, she keeps silent about her Jewish identity. The moment she arrives, the palace eunuch, and in my opinion, the first life coach, Haggai, immediately notices her. It is not only Esther's beauty, but her pleasing disposition. So remember, pleasing disposition that catches his attention. Haggai places Esther in the best part of the harem for the rest of her stay. When it's Esther's turn to go before the king, she brings nothing with her other than what Haggai recommends. She clearly was very coachable. And by a miraculous hand of fate, Esther, the most unlikely candidate, is chosen. The king proceeds to marry her in grand royal fashion, complete with a spectacular parade and a beautiful banquet befitting the new queen of Persia. Shortly after the matrimonial fanfare subsides, the king's best friend, Haman, deceivingly gets him to sign off on a devastating decree to kill all the Jews of the land. Amid the terror and chaos, Mordecai, her uncle, sends word to Esther insisting that she go to the king, put a stop to this, and save her people. Conscious of palace protocol, Esther replies that she cannot go to the king without being summoned first. Right? In other words, don't come for me unless I send for you. Putting up with zero excuses, Mordecai declares, listen up, if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place. But you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. Awakening to the great truth in his words, Esther accepts the call on her life bravely, replying, I will go to the king, even though, nevertheless, right? Even though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish. So she's taking a stand for herself, for her people. Approaching this life-threatening feat with the feminine way, Esther first seeks spiritual guidance by praying and fasting. At the end of the 3 days, she discovers her answer on how to proceed. She dresses in her royal robe and goes to stand before the king. The king is known to be a violent man, quick to execute those who question his authority. Esther is aware that she will be either killed or granted the favor. When the king sees Esther, he asks, what is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given to you. Following the divine guidance she received, Esther responds with a powerful sense of feminine mystery. If it pleases the king, Let the king, together with Haman, come today for a banquet I have prepared for him. Intrigued by her invitation, the king happily agrees. At the banquet, after being elegantly wined and dined, you got to know your man, she says, the king again asks, now, what is your petition? It will be given to you. And what is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be granted. Keeping the allure alive, she says, let the king and Haman come tomorrow to the banquet I will prepare for them. Then I will answer the king's question. After a second lavish feast, like they know how to throw a party, the king asks his question again. Finally, Esther answers him profoundly with direct, queenly communication. If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. This is my petition. And spare my people. This is my request. For I and my people have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated. Who is he? Where is he? The man who dared do such a thing, the king exclaims in shock. Esther reveals the responsible party is the man sitting next to the king, his best friend, Haman. The king is furious and has Haman immediately put to death. According to Persian law, even the king himself cannot overturn the codified decree and stop the attack from happening. However, Xerxes is able to amend the decree so that when the army is sent out, the Jews can fight back and they victoriously prevail over the Persian soldiers. Only because Esther had the courage to fulfill her purpose, her people were saved. And for me, this is now Gina speaking, she became the heroine of all time, modeling for ordinary women everywhere that we all have a calling and it is up to us to answer it. Wow. So let's think about, for us, are we answering our calling? Are we willing to say, if I perish, I perish? I'm going to do this live. If I flub, I flub. If they mock me, they mock me. If nobody shows up, nobody shows up. Even though, nevertheless, this is scriptural, what I teach you. Even though, nevertheless. Let's ask ourselves this question. Are you taking that stand for you, for your business, for your life right now? Even though, nevertheless, even though the law says, don't come for the king unless the king sends for you. She had the courage to step forth because this mission of saving her people, right? The compelling way in which Mordecai said to her, listen, some way, somehow, the Jewish people will be saved eventually, but you and your family for sure will perish. And who knows, I love this line, and who knows, maybe you were created as queen for a time such as this. That when we step into our queendom, when we step into our beingness of queen, it's not just for us to go, oh, more grapes, more pomegranate. I need more palm fronds. Do you see, like, I break out in sweat. I need more air, right? That we have our gifts and talents for a reason. That you get your gifting for a reason. So important, guys, that you understand this. Yeah, absolutely. There's a difference between responding and reacting. Total leadership comment right there, Marion. The example I gave you with this text that I got this morning, I didn't react. I responded. And you see how the entire energy, the entire thing shifted because I stepped into leadership and responded versus reacting. that I didn't take it personally like this. Oh, she was trying to attack me, this person. She's dealing with some bigger stuff. And so I just responded. Right? Yes. You got to take the action. And exactly what Jacqueline's saying. She first went and got counsel. Go before God. This thing here, what do I do? How do I deal with this? This calling that you have, what would you have me do? And then when you get the answer, and it might be just a small whisper, guys, it doesn't have to be like this big, huge scroll that shows you exactly the plan of how your life is going to unfold. It doesn't work that way. Martin Luther King says, you just keep taking one step at a time. You're not going to see the full staircase, but just keep stepping. The staircase will be made revealed to you. So when you think about this, right? And so when you go on a live, when you do a live, there's no threat of death. Esther had a real threat of death if she did this thing. But she knew the calling, the mission was greater than herself. Are you standing knowing that your mission is greater than yourself? Yesterday, we had such a beautiful masterclass for those of you who were able to attend with Dr. Ken. And one of the things that I noticed, and I spoke about it, is here you have this man. I mean, so many letters behind his name, distinguished beyond repair, an expert in his field. And he is brought here by me to serve the people. It was a free masterclass. And all they had to do, all the people who showed up, put your camera on and ask the dean a question. You have your business numbers, ask a question. And as I observed, there were so many people who were sort of, kind of just sitting back, playing small, not seizing the moment, because for a time like this, when do you think you will ever have an opportunity to just have somebody with a PhD sit and talk to you about your business and give you scholarly insights on what to do? And so I bring this up, and it's not about judgment. I'm noticing because I'm calling you forth. This is why many people don't make it to the finish line, because we get into these limiting thinking thoughts like, oh, he's a PhD. I'm not going to. He's here for you. He was here for you. He is here to serve at your pleasure. But we don't step into our queendom like, absolutely, you are here for me, and you're going to answer my question. Here is my my business information. So just notice how you're showing up. And again, this is where the voice memo would really be super helpful. After something like that, you go, okay, I was at this masterclass with this PhD, dean, School of Business, and I didn't ask my question. And so what's coming up for me, why I wouldn't have taken that opportunity to be seen and heard? How am I showing up? Is this a new thing that I'm doing, or this has just been something that I do all the time and I can't seem to get out of my own way? You get to notice yourself and your patterns, because you get to interrupt those. Because if you keep doing the same thing's going to happen. If you change nothing, nothing's going to change. So to think about right now, the calling is there. You were created with a purpose. This is not just, oh, wow, yeah, I totally forgot about Marianne. Yeah, let me see now. What am I going to give her? God knew you before you were born. He saw your life before you became flesh. So we understand that there's no accident. He didn't forget to give Juliet a mission. Juliet's mission was already created, done before Juliet was conceived. Right? You guys get this. So you get to answer for yourself. Am I going to take this? If I perish, I perish. attitude? Are you going to lean into even though, nevertheless? There was one question that somebody asked about, a Facebook group and how to grow it. And again, no judgment, but we're always looking for like, what's the short way? And for some things, we just get to be, and this is what I said to her, we get to be patiently persistent. That when you see a group has 500,000, 10,000, 2,000, you can't look at that and go, oh, I want that too, and expect that we're going to like snap a finger and it'll come overnight. It takes patient, persistent action every single day to build a Facebook group. Right? The shortcut way is you get connected with an influencer and they tell their people, hey guys, go join this group and it's going to be done. But how often are you in connection with somebody like that? This is why when I talk about the CEO bootcamp and the mastermind intensive, you get the opportunity to do that because the people that are going to be there are influential who can just, send one email and their people come rushing in. But if you don't have that, you get to understand that it takes time. It's a 20,000 mile march. How do you complete a 20,000 mile march? You complete a 20,000 mile march one step at a time. And in order to build consistency, to build engagement with you, if you're doing something, in your community and you're putting on like a Saturday event and you're like, oh, the people need to know you. You get to take the time to build your connection with the people. They're not just going to show up because you decide today, after not talking to anyone, not going on their page and saying hi, none of that stuff. But then you want 1,000 people to show up to the event. It doesn't work that way, guys. You got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. Yep. Show up every day with the good intentions and it will happen, but not on your timing. So good. But you get to have the even though, nevertheless. You get to say, I'm doing this thing. I'm becoming queen. I am stepping into my queendom, and you do queen stuff. Somebody was asking recently about, how to be, I think it was like influential or impactful. You want to be influential, do influential stuff. You want to be impactful, do impactful stuff. See, it comes with the action. Faith without works is dead. It comes with the action. And so how do you show up to be engaging? How do you show up to be influential? How do you show up to be a rainmaker, a game changer? You do rainmaking, game changing stuff. And you get out of your comfort zone. You get to get out of your comfort zone. There's no magic in the comfort zone. There's nothing happening. Nobody's knocking on the door to come into the comfort zone at all. Growth does not happen in your comfort zone. Growth happens outside of it. And again, no judgment, but you get to know that to be the truth. You get to know that to be the truth. And so then you don't sit around wringing your hands going, oh my gosh, they have 10,000 people. Are you doing the work, the efforting that will yield 10,000 people in your Facebook group? Or are you just kicked back, checked out, days, weeks at a time, being mad, being salty? And then you're like, where's my 10,000 people? Good morning, beautiful Brandon Swanson. How are you, gorgeous? Hello, Facebook user. Who is this? Please comment again with your name. Hello, AJ, my love. Good to see you here. So are you meeting the queen that is you? You've got to know you step up and do powerful stuff. You step up and you do stuff that's uncomfortable for you. And I want to say again, I'm going to say again on your video, your camera. please know that it is analogous to you showing up to a meeting with a paper bag over your head. And listen, I'm not saying there aren't times when your camera needs to be turned off. Joe, my love, if you go on to the YouTube channel or on Twitter and just search for my name, it's streaming live there right now. Good morning, beautiful Ellen. I love you. Oh, I love the truths you bring. Thank you for that. I received that. You meet your queenness when you are ready to step forth and be seen. When you turn off your video when you're in a meeting, it is analogous to you sitting in a conference room with a paper bag over your head. Because when you do that, and especially people who just do it the whole time, right? On a constant basis. And again, yes, are there times when you need to do that? Absolutely. So nothing is absolute or 100%. So there gets to be some time where that happens, but you get to look at your pattern. Is your pattern to show up just so your name can be seen, so you can get checked off on some list somewhere that says, oh yeah, Joe was in the meeting, AJ was in the meeting. You're there, but you're not present. You're not present in the sense that the people aren't present to you. If I can't see into your eyes, if I can't see into the white of your eyes, you are missing a moment of connection. And especially now that we're social distanced, we should be fighting for more FaceTime. You get what I'm saying, guys? We should be really fighting more to be seen, so that I can see you and you can see me and you can see my emotions and I can see your emotions. That there's so much that gets lost in the translation when your screen is off. What are you doing? Are you hearing? Are you listening? Are you understanding? Are you comprehending? Are you actively participating? Are you asking probing questions in the chat? So I want you to think about it for yourself. When you are hosting your own Zoom meeting and the people are checked out and the people are not participating in the chat and they're not doing anything, how does that energy feel for you? And if you don't love it, then don't go do that to somebody else's session. Because that's how you build rapport. That's how you build connection. And more importantly, if you are on your big mission, people get to see you, people get to hear you, people get to get connected to you, because then that's how you build collaborations. That's how you build partnerships, where people say, oh yeah, I saw her on this Zoom and she was talking about X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I want to pretend, how can I support you? They're not going to just see a picture and feel a connection. Right? That's not queen stuff. You ever seen Queen Elizabeth with a paper bag over her head? You ever seen her outside not adorned? When she comes out, the intention is that you see me, all hail the queen. Not hiding back in the corner and be like, hey, what's up? That's not queen behavior. That's not queen move. Yeah, no, Jacqueline, this is why I'm saying sometimes there are going to be moments. I know you always have your camera on majority of the time. I'm talking about for those who know their truth, that if 90% of the time you get on a Zoom, your camera is off, I'm talking to you. Because what are you there for? You're just there then to take the information, to consume the information, but you're not really there to give of yourself, to give of your presence, to give of your energy. You've got to get into queen stuff. Queens are seen, they participate, they show up, they do bold things. What's Joe saying? We don't matter to the thumbnail people. Exactly. You would not move into a discussion on pitching your business with a paper bag over your head. And I did a talk, it was last month, to the Career Thought Leader Symposium, and I made this specific point. And what I did on my Zoom, and you guys can do this as well, when you go into your Zoom settings, it says hide non-video participants. So as a speaker, this is important for you. If you get energy from your live people, not the thumbnail people, if you get energy from your live people, do that setting so you're only looking at people who are on camera with you, and that you're only engaging with those people and you're only using those people's names to make any points in your meeting. Then the people who are off, and I said this, I made that analogy because this is a bunch of like professionals. And when I said you're sitting in a conference room with a paper bag over your head, it registered. I started to see more cameras light up. Because here's the thing, if you're, let's just say you're at a place where you physically can't, it would be dangerous for you. You're driving or whatever. Then of course. But if you are making it a habit of not showing up, because this is what we want to do. We want to multitask, which multitasking, it's not a thing. It's helpful to no one. It pulls you away. So we shut the camera off so we can be on our phone. We can be doing this. We can be writing, doing whatever, maybe all good things. But until you are present to your people, you will not develop raving fans. Until you're present to your people, where your people can see the white of your eyes, you're just going to be just another person on a screen. So if you're a speaker, you can do that. AJ, I love your vulnerability, because yes, there are times, listen, I'm talking to myself too. There are times where I have been doing that. Oh, I want to get something done. So I get and turn the camera off. You serve no one. And so I love that you say that. And then just to be mindful to say, okay, right, I'm going to be present in this meeting. Because when you're busy doing two other things over here, you didn't hear that other person say something that you could have either added to or questioned or made an agreement statement and just, powerfully supported that meeting even more. And then it only becomes material to you when you're at the front of the room, when you're sitting behind the microphone, when you're sitting at, standing at the front of the stage, and half the room have their videos turned off. And if you glean energy, if you aren't able to be in front of a Zoom or a live that has one person and you can't bring the energy, even though nevertheless, then what you don't want done to you, you don't do to others. So turn your camera on, bring your energy, be present, don't be multitasking, make a note to yourself of the thing that you need to do, and then go do that thing after. But really just, you get to stay present to your people. So what is your aha? What's coming up for you? What are you taking away from today's session? Let me see in the comments. What is coming up for you? I love that. Brenda says, yes, she's doing things that are uncomfortable, but she's loving it and learning so much. Exactly. Because until you push through, everything that you are desirous of, that you want, is on the other side of fear. Everything that you want, that you're desirous of, is on the other side of being uncomfortable. And let me remind you, as I often say, the people care not whether your curls are on fleek or your hair looks like you need to go see the hairdresser. They don't care. It's, what are you doing for me? How can you help me? This is my problem. I don't care if your shirt needed to be ironed. Yeah, are some people going to notice and make a comment? Yeah, but for the majority of the people, they want to know what value you're bringing to them. Yeah, they're low as of now. I like that. Up until this point, they're low. I can tell you, Joe, so many times, and everybody in Momentum Crew, I have been on lives where there have been 0 people. When I started, 0 people. But guess what? You would think I was talking to hundreds of people, because I know how to manufacture, tap into my energy. What did I tell you a couple days ago? I think it was, where I said I think it's in the High Performance Habits, that the human body is comprised of the equivalent of like 30 or 3,000, I look at the number, hydrogen bombs, that the equivalent energy in 30 hydrogen bombs is contained within the human body. So we have everything that we need to be awesome, to be powerful, to be wonderful, but you just get to make a decision that you're doing it. So yeah, up until now, it's low. That's about to change, because Joe is one of our CEOs enrolled in the CEO program. And when it's going to just be so awesome. So the schedule's out. Kate's putting the schedule out. So all of you who are registered and enrolled, you'll get the schedule coming up when we meet Monday through Friday. And then when we do our CEO huddle in the boardroom, but we get to do role playing. Do you understand the power of role playing? If you were at the session yesterday and you saw when, Dr. Ken was like asking the questions and playing devil's advocate, what he's doing is just putting you in the moment. That in the moment that you're like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm going to say to this person, and they fire back questions and you're ill prepared and you look like a novice, you're not going to get that deal. That you need to be able to dance in 6-inch heels at the music drop. Can you do that? Are you prepared for such a time as this? That when the moment, we talk about there's no such thing as luck, when preparation meets opportunity, that's what people call luck. So you get to do the work now, building up into your queenness, your queendom, do queen stuff. Take a stand for yourself. Make decisions that are uncomfortable, right? Right. Make decisions that are uncomfortable. Yes. Taking the risk, like Queen Esther, to live in the vision. Yes, absolutely. It is a decision. And I love that you say that, Ellen. It is a decision. And let me give you decision again. What is a decision? A decision is not being wishy-washy. A decision is not being waffling. A decision is being determined, resolved. It's happening. It's even though, nevertheless. So when you break down, the root word in decide is icide. Icide means death. Homicide, suicide, pesticide, herbicide, right? Something or someone has been killed in those 4 instances. Decide means you've killed off all other options. You're going to be the top go-to resource for natural and energetic healing. It's decided. You're going to be the top sought after South Florida event design and decor company. It's decided. You're going to be the global lifestyle influencer when it comes to living this like best version. It's decided. So that means from where you're sitting, there's no door A. What's behind door B? Door C? It's happening. And you move forward with that intensity and with that energy. Period. Done. End of story. There's no back door. There's no, oh, maybe I'll go back and get a job. I'm going to keep this open just in case. It's none of that. So you get to ask yourself, are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you decided? Have you decided that this is happening? That means can't nobody tell you nothing. Limiting thoughts, beliefs, they may come and they may waft in, and you just like blow them out. Are you decided or are you hoping? Are you decided or are you hoping? Are you decided or you're wishing? Are you decided or you're like waiting to see what happens? Because that energy of it is done, it is finished, is powerful. Because then you walk differently, you talk differently. You get to be decided. I love it. AJ says he's prepared. AJ, I need you to decided. So that means whatever it takes, however long it takes, however rough and rocky and filled with potholes the road may be, even though, nevertheless, this gets to happen for me. It's time for us to wake up. Decided and grounded. Yeah, grounded and it locked in. This is it. You want to be a queen, you want to have your epic life, you get to show up and do epic stuff. So what would be epic? Let's wrap on. I'm going to give you some epic things to do today. What would be an example of epic? Think about something that you have wanted to do. So this is an exercise we're going to be doing in the boot camp. What's something that you've wanted to do, but you dare not utter? You dare not even thinking about even telling your really, really good friend that you're thinking about this thing. Let me see him. And the one thing yesterday, as you're thinking about these epic things for you, the one thing that's really, really important where Dr. Ken said, where he's making the assumption is that you can do the thing that you say you can do. Right? That part, I can't coach you on that. He can't coach you on that. You have to be ready to be, what do we talk about in one of the Think and Grow Rich? Get specialized knowledge. If you know you need to amp up your skills, you know you need to amp up your knowing, that you're committed to that. That if it means, on the weekends, attending, different webinars or seminars to learn, to get continuing education and whatever it is that you need in the area that you're decided that you're going to be the best at, that you're doing that and you're a lifelong student of your craft. Because when you say, I am the best at, it is imperative that you are the best at, that you deliver what it is that you do in such a unique and differentiated way, right? We talked about that yesterday as well, that it's proof positive. Proof positive. Whoa, wait, what? Oh, people come through. Do we see what's going on in these comments? Okay. Yes. And Jacqueline, I'm here for this. I'm here for this all day long. Because the epic life happens when you're in the driver's seat, when you decide, when you're in control. So for me, when I was in corporate, and it was a very kind of like scary, kind of nauseating thing, because we look at the day job as like the guaranteed money, right? That's kind of how I saw it. It's like my 6 figures come. I mean, like I said before, I think I shared this with you guys. I would have checks sitting on my desk that hadn't been deposited. Just forget it, whatever, because I wasn't hunting for any money. Like my money game was strong. When you think about cutting that bit off, then now it's up to you. We can't coast anymore. Now we get to swim. It's a different energy. It's powerful. It's energetic. It like lights you up because, now it's all up to you. One of the leadership traits, if it's meant to be, it's got to be me. It's up to me. So then now it's going to be up to you to be this thing, to be this best version of yourself, global lifestyle ambassador for real, and taking it into levels that are next level. Take it into levels that are higher than you could even have. What does we talk about Ephesians 3:20? More than you can even dream, think, or imagine. So, Jacqueline, is that statement on your vision board right now? Quit your day job. I want you to do a memo, do a voice memo to yourself on this, and get into the vision of what it would feel like. What would it be like if you actually quit your job, your day job? How would you feel? Who would you be? What would you be doing? How would your world be transformed? How would the world be transformed? Because here's the thing, guys, when we are doing a job, and I know this because, right, I was there, you get to give 100% because they're paying you, right? We're not talking about skipping out on, a company time doing stuff, because honestly, they're expecting you to be delivering whatever the 40 hours that you're being paid for. So while you're doing that, and you're also doing, your dream, your side hustle, you can't serve two masters. You can't give 100% to both. It's not physically possible because of the 24 hours that you're allotted. Let's say 6 of those, 7 of those are for sleep. Then the majority of your time is for your main job. So your side hustle will always be getting a smaller portion. It's challenging to create that quantum leap into full potential and purpose when this big amount of time is being spent elsewhere. So Jacqueline, I want you to write on this. I want you to speak into this. I want you to visualize this, like literally, what would it look like? What would it feel? Who would you be? Who would you become? What would be your thoughts, your ways of being? And get this gets to happen for you. This gets to happen for you when you get really serious about, okay, I want to learn how to do, because this is a different shift. It's not just, let me do a side hustle. This is now you're talking about, you're going from side hustle to everything is now in your brand, in your business. Like that's how the money comes in. And you want to first start off by, okay, looking at what it is that you make currently from the day job, looking at what you're bringing in now from your side jobs, and then looking at the hours that it would be required for you to lean into the side job that much more to replace the income. So we've got to know what we're making right now. And listen, right away, it's not going to replace. So sometimes people have that fallacy. And let me just tell you from personal experience, it doesn't right away. You need to know, like what Dr. Ken talked about, like the cost. What is the floor? What is the break even number that you need to keep your lights on, pay the bills? I mean, there was a time when I was transitioning, I literally had to unsubscribe from every single Tory Burch, Kate Spade, don't judge me, Louis Vuitton. I had to unsubscribe from everything because part of my way of being up until that point was, listen, I got money in the whatever. Oh, sale, ooh, promo. And I would just, it spoke to me. I bought it. When you're getting into transitioning for yourself, you can't do that because then other things require those, all of the discernible income is now going to be put elsewhere. So focus on that for sure. Joe, this gets to be done. This is not even a problem for you. You're in CEO bootcamp with me. We're absolutely going to do this. If you understand the power of doing this exercise, everybody would be enrolled in the bootcamp, because what we do is we take away the mystery. We take away the, oh shucks, I'm not worthy. Listen, this gets to be done. That's easily done. Easily done. So I'm not even going to spend time on that because yeah. And so here's the thing, right? So you get to shift, from that. Of course, you want to have a contact into it. And that gets to happen for you. But what I want you to just say is to get into your David and Goliath energy right now, right? David and Goliath, it was like the total mismatch. But he was decided, what he was determined, he was declared. He was incensed that Goliath was speaking against his God. He was like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? So you get to be as incensed. When I talk about the reason I do what I do, particularly with the CEO series, is I am incensed at the notion that 1 in 5 businesses fail. Why? We're in the United States of America. Like if you were telling me we're on some island in, wherever, not on the grid, no access to anything, I might be able to get there with you. But we're in the United States of America and businesses are failing for what reason? Like, listen, people like Dr. Ken are out there roaming the countryside. Why are we failing? You just sit with him for an hour and you get all the stuff that you need to like get you on the right track. Why are businesses failing? So you feel my passion and my energy around this. So it's the same thing for you. It's like, okay, why are athletes who have given us such a great moment of connection and entertainment and fun with our families when we go to the games and all the things that we get from, sitting and watching, a football game or a golf tournament. Why should they then be in this? I mean, you're talking about life-giving pain, life-depleting pain. And that if you have the resource, you have the know-how to help them, you will be like Queen Vashti that says, listen, King Xerxes, listen, Tiger Woods, I know you don't normally connect with people that are not people that are connected to you, that your people have cleared. I get that, right? Just like Queen Esther did. I know your rule is don't come for me unless I send for you. However, in this moment right here, I get to take a stand because it's that important. If your healing and if your protocol is been built, your expertise, your know-how, Joe, has been built for such a time of this, you don't get to ask for permission. You get to give notice. There are too many people out here, too many athletes who have given of their time, their life, their gifts, who are now hostage to pain medication, who are wrecking and ruining their lives of their families and their children. And that gets to stop. And I'm the one who is going to stop it. So take the stand and be unapologetic. And guess what? If the first one gets flubbed, oh, well, next, how many celebrities and how many pro athletes are in the United States? How many pro athletes are in the world? One flub, you want it to flub. You can learn. Sometimes we are like, oh my God, I got to be perfect. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And in some instances, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person because nothing you say is going to be good enough because they're just the wrong person. And the quicker and the sooner we get to go through the people, and it's just a sorting exercise, everybody. It's just a sorting exercise. I was sharing with one of my leadership cohorts, she was looking for some feedback on, she didn't get this big, huge design job. And, the team that she had amassed, they weren't the even though nevertheless people, she was trying to work with them for 3 weeks, trying to get them ready, get the mindset, all that kind of thing. And I said to her, here's the thing. And I need to find this book for her about hiring for culture. Like sometimes we hire for skill set, but the mindset is wrong. Their attitude is bad. And that'll just infect your organization. So I told her one of my mentors did this training about, getting the right people in your crew, getting the right people to coach you, getting the right people around you who are going to mentor you. It's simply this. Instead of trying to turn somebody into an ace, meaning, they're on time, they have a good attitude, even though nevertheless, they see possibility and potential. They don't know anything about glass half empty. They're just here for life and more life. So that person would represent the ace, and the person who would be like, have all the excuses in the world. Everything is a problem. Everybody's out to get them. No, we're not trying to work past this time, right? Then that person might represent the joker. So instead of taking, like, let's just say this is the deck of cards, and this is the, right? Let's just say this is the Joker. So let's just say this is the Joker in the deck of cards. Instead of taking an eraser and trying to do this, right? You're going to try to make this now into the Ace of Spade. Does that look like the Ace of Spade? It looks like a hot mess. So instead of taking your time trying to change and fix and, oh, let me take an eraser and let me draw this, and then the Ace has this, just take your time. Flip through the deck of cards. Flip, 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 flip. Bam. Ace. Go find the ace. Stop trying to turn jokers into aces. So it's the same thing, right? Don't spend so much time trying to make everything, you're doing and doing. Just go find it. So as you go through, okay, so maybe it's not Tiger Woods, maybe it's not, this person, but you go through and like, boom, this person in Belgium, pro hockey player, totally making that, was like, yes, I've long been looking for a, non-traditional way of dealing with, and so yes. And then next thing you know, the government of Belgium is like, yep, this is our new, you just don't know where it's going to come from. But sometimes we're like still steady looking at this door that we just knew was going to be the door, and this door better open again, because why did this door close in the first place? I thought I was so ready. And you don't see that this window just opened. This window that you get to jump through just opened. But you're so fixated because, no, this is how I saw it. This is what I journaled. This is the way it's supposed to be. Tiger Woods. It's supposed to be. This is what a pro athlete in Belgium just opened a window. Right? Jacqueline, get yourself registered in CEO Bootcamp. That's all I'm going to say to you. Because if that's where you are, honey, we get to help you. So yes, you are welcome. Yes, absolutely. You can never say the wrong thing to the right person. Know that that's the truth. Okay. This was like deep Holy Spirit God. I just love this reading today. And I was like, ooh, Esther, we get to go to church. But I hope that served you well. I get to go be excellent in my next meeting. And go ahead and let me find the banner. If you're not enrolled, just get enrolled. We kick off on May 3rd. So I'm going to just keep talking about this until then. And then after that, we'll give it a rest. And you can decide for yourself. But when we start, it's going to be so powerfully ready for, when I talk about we're doing like the role play. So when things like when Jacqueline's like, oh, I'm nervous, like that gets to be gone because I've done it. Like everything that I've done, I'm opening out my entire company and just giving it to you. Like I said, one of the things that you get is you get to use my VA team for a project while you're working with me in this 6-week program. So how awesome is that? You're like, oh my gosh, I don't have an email system. I don't know how to set up an email system. How do I connect this to this so that, but Kay and the team will get it done for you. So you get to decide. This is what I want you to hear me say. You get to decide if the way you've been going, trying to figure it out on your own, skipping around the mulberry bush, getting stuck by thorns and still not getting anywhere feels good to you, then the invitation is to keep doing what you're doing. But if you're like, you know what, this gets to be different. My epic life gets to start right now. And I want to work with a team. I want to work with experts. I want to get coaching. I want to get training. I want to get guidance and insights from people like a Dr. Ken, people like a Hans de Graaf in the Netherlands, people like, Francine of Blocktops Financing is going to like help you get your money right. If you're like, I get to have a team, think about it. These, I want you to think about this and I'm going to wrap. The people that we idolize, the people that we look up to, the people that we're like, oh my God, do you understand that they have a team? Do you understand that Tiger Woods is not being awesome, being Tiger Woods all by himself? Do you understand, right? Oprah not being Oprah, awesome by herself. Oprah has a team. So if the thing that we're trying to emulate, the behavior that you get to model gets to be you work with a team, you trying to do it on your own. And I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go to these free conferences and it's a losing way to be. All of the big celebrities, the pro, everybody, Team. Success is a team sport. And whatever you need to do to get your money right, to invest in yourself, is what you get to do. I can't tell you how many times I have taken money out of my IRA to make my stuff happen for me. You see me here flossing, you might impress that that's what it is. That's what I did. I did, even though nevertheless, whatever it takes, it gets to be done, because I know if I just keep telling myself the same story, oh, I don't have it right now. Oh, I can't invest $50,000 in this program. Guess what? I'm going to be exactly right where I am. And if right where I am is good enough for me, then I'm just going to be good enough. And that's good to be good. And there's no judgment. So this is why I'm calling for the people who are like, nope, I'm raising my flag. I get to go. I get to be awesome. I get to transform the world. Then that's who I'm talking to, because this is not going to be for everyone. I totally get that. But I want to be very loud. I want to be very vocal, so nobody can say, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were doing this thing. Hear me loud and clear. The CEO Bootcamp Mastermind Intensive starts May 3rd. Click the link, get yourself registered. We all get to go be epic. Joe says they're good too. I can't regrow the teeth. Absolutely. It's just, what is the intention? The intention is to heal the world. And so if the healing starts in Uganda versus starting in California, are we good with that? If the healing starts in British Columbia versus San Francisco, are we good with that? Of course we are. Of course we are. Oh, thank you, beautiful. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the program. And Ellen, oh, thank you. That really means a lot to me. This is the intention of this show, is to be a source of inspiration that moves you forward in your life and or your business. So be well. Look, happy 11/11, y'all. For those of you on the East Coast, see, that's God saying like, yep, keep moving. We're on the right track. That's the signal. 11/11. Be well, be awesome. I will see everybody back here tomorrow, 10 Eastern. And for the CEO program, we start May 3rd. We meet every single day. And then once per week, we do the CEO boardroom huddle. So I'm super stoked. I'm super excited. Okay, guys, go be awesome. Take care.
Never sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me.